Citations and bibliographies, aka reference lists. In a technical paper, information that is quoted or copied from other sources must be referenced. And this is done by placing a citation number or reference number immediately following the quoted information. And then, at the end of the document, all the citation numbers or reference numbers must be listed in a bibliography or reference list. Here's an example of an in-text citation using the American Chemical Society, the ACS, formatting convention. The citation numbers are separated by commas, if you have more than one together, and in parentheses. Alternately, citation numbers can be superscripted, again separated by commas, or a hyphen when you have a sequence of citation numbers referring to the same information. According to the ACS style, each citation or reference in a paper must appear in a reference list, aka bibliography. A very common formatting style for technical papers is the APA style. APA stands for the American Psychological Association style of formatting. And according to the APA style, there's a distinction between a bibliography and a reference. A bibliography contains sources that were consulted by the author, but not necessarily quoted in the document, whereas a reference list contains source information only for the in-text citations. I'll show you an example of the difference. If I open up, say, Wikipedia, this particular article is polyethylene in Wikipedia, and scroll to the bottom of the document, you'll notice that Wikipedia has a reference list, citations, and a bibliography, as well as external links. In our chemistry papers, you have some latitude to use the terms bibliography and reference list interchangeably. Let's go through the process of creating some citations using Microsoft Word, and then we'll follow that with creation of a bibliography. So here's some information that has been copied from another source, and I need to give this a citation. Ethylene bubbled into a suspension of catalyst in hexane at room temperature polymerizes rapidly to give a high molecular weight linear polyethylene. Now the first thing you need to do is go to the References tab and choose the style of citation that you're going to create. Here under Citations and Bibliography, on the drop-down list, see a variety of styles. And notice APA is here at the top. Now there isn't a style listed for the ACS, unfortunately, but if you use the ISO 690 numerical reference, that's quite close, and that's what we will use. So make sure you choose ISO 690 numerical reference style. Then with the cursor immediately following the information that's to be referenced, just click on the Insert Citation icon, and then Add New Source. In this Create Source dialog box, choose the type of source. This particular reference I'm using first is from a book, so I'm going to choose a book. And before we go any farther, note down here, Show All Bibliography Fields. Then you simply go ahead and fill in all of the information that you have. So here, to save time, I've already added the information. The author was Ferdinand Rodriguez. Notice I just wrote his name as it shows on the cover, first name, last name. Microsoft Word will automatically change the formatting appropriately in the bibliography to list the last name, comma, first name, and you'll see that later. Then we have the title of the book, Principles of Polymer Systems, the year of publication, the page where the quotation was taken from, the city where it was published, and the book publisher. If you have other information that you feel is important, you can scroll through the list and see what you might add, but this is sufficient for this title, and simply say OK. After that, Microsoft Word places a citation number in correct format after it. Here's an excerpt from a journal. In the gel spinning process of Smith and Leemstra, polyethylene with a molecular weight of 1.5 million is dissolved in Decolan at 150 degrees C and concentrations of less than 2% weight. In this case, I'm going to place my citation number immediately after the author's name. So again, on the References tab, insert citation. Notice the previous one is listed. I'm going to add a new source. And in this case, since this is a journal article, I'll choose that type of source. So to save time, I've gone ahead and added the information for this journal reference. In this case, there are two authors, a Mr. P. Smith and a Mr. P.J. Leemstra. In order for Word to display this correctly, you should type in the last name first, followed by a comma, and then the initial or first name. Separate the two author names with a semicolon. Then there's the title of the journal, Journal of Polymer Science. The year was 1980. The month is March, and page numbers 505 to 514. Volume 15. Any other information you obtain from the journal, you can enter it here. And finally say OK. Notice that Microsoft Word has entered citation number 2 for this second reference. Let's do one final citation style, this one from a website. So here's a third reference. Low-density polyethylene is defined by a density range of 0.91 to 0.94 grams per cubic centimeter. Now, this information came from a website. In fact, it was Wikipedia. Where do I find the information for referencing a website? Well, in the case of Wikipedia, it's quite simple. Here's the article in Wikipedia, polyethylene. If you look in the left-hand column, notice here under Cite this page, we're told that the page name is polyethylene. The author is Wikipedia contributors because there were many of them. The publisher is Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Here's the date of the last revision of this information. And here's the date that I'm retrieving it today. So let's go back to our document, and we can add a reference now. Under Insert Citation, so far we have two citations listed. We're going to create a new source, and this particular source will be a website. Okay. So again, for sake of time, I've gone ahead and copied in the information. The author is Wikipedia contributors. The name of the web page was polyethylene. The name of the website was Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. The year that this was last updated, 2015, July 14th. The date I accessed it, July 24th, 2015. And finally, I copied and pasted the URL from the website. Once you've created all your references, your citations, it's relatively easy to create a bibliography using Microsoft Word. Now, the bibliography will go on the last page, on its own page, but for ease of viewing, I'm going to place it right here following the citations. So click on the Bibliography tool in the References tab. Notice we have Bibliography, References, and Works Cited. And notice that according to the ISO 690 style, there's really no difference between a bibliography and a reference. So I'm going to go ahead and click Bibliography. Now you may want to tidy this up a bit. First of all, the title should be center justified and uppercase. So if I go to the Home tab and choose uppercase, next I'm going to center justify my title. And I'd like to make the color the same as the rest of the document, black. and that should also be bolded. I should also change the font style to be the same as the normal font. Cambria. There. So now it's consistent. Any other changes that need made here? One thing I see is the authors are listed backwards here. It should be Wikipedia contributors. This is a good opportunity to show you how to edit a citation. If we go back on the References tab and choose Manage Sources, notice the various citations are listed here. I'm going to click on Contributors Wikipedia, and I'm going to choose Edit. Actually, what I typed was Wikipedia Contributors, but since this is an author category, the convention is to place the last name first, and Word assumed that the second word was the last name and placed it first. So what I'm going to do is change this. I'm simply going to type again Wikipedia, and this time I'll put comma contributors. And this should force Wikipedia to recognize this, to come first. It recognizes it as a last name. It says the source exists. Do you want to update both the field list? Yes, I do. And say close. Now you'll notice that the change hasn't been made here. Let's go back in and see what's happening. Manage sources. Wikipedia contributors. This is the way the citation should be listed, Wikipedia, comma, contributors. So it is corrected, but it hasn't been updated here in bibliography. So go ahead and close that. If I simply then right-click anywhere in the bibliography and choose Update Field, notice it makes the change as required. So one final bit of formatting is we need a blank line after the title. I'm going to go ahead and place this on its own page. So there I've created a bibliography, the last page of my document, in proper format. A bibliography is the most tedious part of a document. The sequencing of the author, the title, the publisher, the page numbers, it changes whether it's a book or a journal or a website. And this was one of the most difficult pieces for an author to work through. It's certainly the most frustrating. And one of the nice features about using a word processor like Microsoft Word that automates these features is that it adds the proper formatting for us, periods, colons, semicolons. And of course, it's very easy to go back then and edit and make changes using the Manage Source options here. So there we have it. Citations and bibliographies.